Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of the BookPreneur. I am Audrey Bell-Kearney, your BookPreneur. Today I'm going to be talking about how I leverage ChatGPT and custom GPTs to help me market my book. And so I'm glad you guys are here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Audrey. I have been a self-publishing author since 1998. It's been a minute. Since 1998. I co-authored the first book with my friends. It's called A Cookbook to Romance. Way back when, before self-publishing was a big thing. Now it is a big thing. Here lately, I have been working on the Lyran Legacy, which is my fiction book, my first ever fiction. I started out as a nonfiction author. I think by now I have authored probably about 7 to 10 books, I think, and I've been a part of 3 anthologies. And so I am excited about my new venture as a fiction author. So although I have not actually been in this space very long, I'm excited about all of the great things that I'm doing and all of the things that I'm doing to promote the book. So today I want to talk to you about creating a custom GPT to help you market your book. So this is something that I recently did for myself, and I thought I would just share with you what I've done so that maybe you can do it for yourself. Let's get started. So as you can see over here, I'm in my Chat GPT account. And one of the things that I've done is that I created a custom GPT called the Pop Picture. So if I go here to my GPTs, you can see all of the ones that I've created. So this is the one that I created. The reason I created this was because I'm a podcaster, and I've been a podcaster for a very, very, very long time. I started podcasting back in 2009. I kind of forget sometimes. I started podcasting back in 2009. I've been teaching podcasting since 2017, I think it is. Teaching that, been speaking at conferences since 2019 about podcasting. I've spoken at a lot of conferences. I helped a lot of people start podcasts. I've helped a lot of people self-publish books. So I've been in this space a very long time. And one of the things I understand is how powerful podcasting can be. So when you're thinking about how to promote your book, podcasting is probably one of the best ways to do that. So for me, because I'm in a whole new genre of book writing and fiction, I've never done fiction before, and I use AI to help me create the fiction book. But now it's like, okay, now the book is done. It's on Amazon. It's on Draft to Digital. It's on that platform as well. It's on Google Play Books. So it's on all these platforms. Now I got to get to the real meat of the marketing. One of the things I love about podcasters is that they're always looking for people to be on their show. Now, there are so many podcasts out there. Right now, we have about 5.2 million podcasters who produce a show. However, out of that 5.2 million, not all of them are actually active. When I say active, what I mean by that is that they at least produce one episode per week. So we call it active in our space. So, we have 5.2 million, but out of that 5.2 million, probably about 1 million of those are actually active, which means they're producing at least one episode a week. Now, for me, I'm producing 5 daily episodes called Good Morning Georgia. Five daily episodes. I do that Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. live. So my stuff is mostly always live. Then I co-host a show. So that's what a co-host. Then I co-host another show called Keeping It Real with Dr. Linda Chin every other Monday, and that's also live. Then I do the Bookpreneur 2 or 3 times a week, depending on what great information I want to share. And sometimes that's live, sometimes it's not. And then sometimes I may have a guest on the show. Like last Wednesday, I had an author on the show. We talked about her book and her journey and why she wrote the book. Next Wednesday, I'm going to have Dr. Chin on my show because she's also written the book and is writing new books, and she's an author. So we're going to talk about her journey and why she wrote the book. So I do a lot of podcasts. I said all that to say I do a lot of podcasting, and I speak at podcast conferences, and I do workshops and webinars and all these things in that space. So I understand this space because I've been in this space for a very long time, and I feel like podcasting and being a guest on a podcast is a great way for you, the author, to get in front of new audience. So I wanted to share with you what I have been doing with my podcast, with my book. And so one of the things that I did recently was create this GPT called the Pod Pitcher. Now, the reason I created this was because I wanted to pitch podcasters, but I really just didn't have the time to do it. And so what I decided to do was, let me close this out first. What I decided to do was go over to Chat GPT. I decided to create a new GPT, a custom GPT on my platform inside my account. And what I said was, I wanted you to be a podcast booking assistant. And so the Pod Pitcher is a podcast booking assistant that help authors get featured on podcasts. Now, the reason I say help authors was because my original idea was to sell the access to this GPT. So people who did not want to create their own or did not know how could just purchase mine and just use it for a one-time use. And what it does is you're going to put in some information about yourself, and then it's going to go out based on the genre that you put in, and it's going to pitch you to podcasters. And so this is what I said. It says, Pod Pitcher is a podcast booking assistant that helps authors get featured on podcasts. Its primary goal is to collect all the relevant information, author information, including a bio from the author, book details like the genre, a book that you've written, the availability that you may have for an interview. It also is going to create this pitch, and then it's going to pitch it to these podcasters. So what's going to happen is the GPT is going to go out and scrape the web, find podcasts, and it's not hard to find them, because if you go to a platform like Apple Podcasts and Spreaker and Spotify and iHeart Radio and Amazon Music, all of the podcast information is right there for you. And 9 times out of 10, there is an email address there. And so it's going to pull that information into a database, and then it's going to go back based on the genre of your book, or based on the information, based on the podcast that you say you want to be in. So let's say, for instance, I say I want to be a guest on podcasts that talk entrepreneurship and podcasts that talk self-publishing. I will come over here to this side, right here to this right side, and it's going to ask me some information, like provide the name of your full name, provide the days you're available, what genre is your book, in a short description, and please confirm the email. But I can also say, after I put all the information in, I would like to be on podcasts that talks about entrepreneurship and self-publishing, because that is the audience of people that I want to talk to. But for me, I've written a fiction book. And so I put in a genre book. It's not a fiction, a fantasy fiction. And these are kind of like the people I wanted to find, right? And I'm going to show you my other GPT that I did earlier. So if you're thinking about this, let's say, for instance, you write mystery, right? You go in here and you say, you know what? I want you to pitch me to podcasters about that focus on mystery books, right? And you tell her what you wanted to do. So this is what's called a prompt. So the prompt that you see right here for Pod Pitcher is the prompt that I created for myself. But I also created to be a platform for other authors to take advantage of. Now, I have not made this public. I'm only using it for myself. And so it's not public for public use yet, because I want to see like what kind of results it's going to get back. And I want to see, do I really want to sell it, or do I want to give it away because I just want to give it away? I haven't made up my mind. However, if I were to sell it, you can see right here that I set a price point, $97. It's going to give you 25 pitches. And then it's going to, once they pitch you to the podcaster, the podcast can then take your email address and then send you back an email saying, hey, we'd love to have you on the show. You know, these are the days we have available. Now, in the pitch, you get to pitch based on the times and availabilities that you have. But if the podcaster say we don't record on those days, these are the days we can record on, they can just email you via the email that's inside of the pitch saying, hey, we don't record on those days. We only record on these days. So that's why this is important. So all I did was go there and I created it. It asked me what I wanted to do. It created a little artwork for it. All of these great things. And I thought it was really, really cool. So I created the artwork. And now all I have to do is hit create. So right here in this box, I'm going to hit create. And it's going to ask me, is it only for me? Is it anyone with the link? Or is it in the GPT store? I'm going to show y'all something about the GPT store in a second. So for me right now, it's only for me. Later on, I may make it the $97. in that case, what's going to happen is I'll share this link with people, and when they click on the link, the pod pitch is going to send them a payment link saying, okay, now thank you for your information. Here's the payment link for you to pay. Once you pay, because this is how smart the system is, once you pay through this link, we'll get started in compiling you the list of podcasters we're going to pitch you to. So, but right now it's only for me. So I'm going to just see only me. I'm going to hit save, and then it's going to create. And I just wanted to share this with you because I don't know about you guys, but I'm not only an author and a business owner, I'm the president of the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce. So my time is extremely limited. So when I get a chance to do things that's going to make me more productive and help me with what I'm trying to get done, that's what I do. So the pod pitchers was one thing that I felt like, okay, I don't know any fiction writers. I mean, in fiction podcasts, I don't have time to scour 5 million podcasts to find, podcasters. How about I create this smart assistant and let it do it for me? So now I'm going to wait for the update. I'm going to wait for the results to come back in to find out what happened when they pitched me. Now, let me show you another one that I did. Because this one right here is pitching me to podcasters, right? This next one that I'm going to show you that I created, this one is pitching me to fantasy book clubs, right? It's called my Fantasy Book Club Marketer. Why? Because my book is in the fantasy genre. And so I was like, look, find all the fantasy book clubs. And what I want you to do, I want you to pitch my book to them. And what I did was I actually went into Amazon. I'm going to show you how I did that in a second. I went to Amazon and I pulled up the link to my book. Let me go back for a second. I want to show you how I did that. I went to Amazon and I pulled up the link to my book. Let's go to Amazon real quick. So I went into my Amazon account and I pulled up my book, right? So here's my book. I typed in my name. It's easier for me to do my name, Audrey Bell-Kearney. And I pulled up my book. All of these are my books, by the way, my podcast, and all of these are my books. And this is not all of them. I'm missing some. Oh, well, yeah, there they all go. These are all my books. So I've been doing this for a minute. These are this film right here is so old. I did that like I don't know when, but it's a long time. But these are all the books I've done. So I've been doing this for a minute. But what I did here was I pulled up this book right here. And then I went and I took the short link here. I copied this short link. And then I took this link, which I just copied. And then I'm going to go back over here. And then I took that link. And when I created this particular GPT, I put that link in there. So what I told this GPT to do was I said, listen, what I want you to do, I want you to, let me go back to my GPTs. Let's go back to my GPTs. We're going to go to this one, the fantasy one. We're going to go to edit. And this is what I said. This is the prompt that I used. I said, you are a professional book marketing specializing in the fantasy genre with a focus on engaging book clubs to introduce them to the Laren legacy. The Starseed Chronicles begin. The book follows, and it gives a description of the book. So it tells you what the book does. So it's giving you the description of the book. So this way, when it presents the book to the book clubs, it's going to give the description of the book. I also included a cover of the book. So the book cover is in there as well. I also included a link to my Amazon account. So when it go and it pitches the book to the book clubs, right? That the fantasy genre book clubs, it's going to give a book description. It's also going to have a picture of the cover in the description. And then it's also going to have a link directly to my Amazon account. So when any book clubs decide they, if it says, okay, this book club has email address, is going to take the email address. It's going to send a pitch out to the book club email address. It's also going to send a cover of the cover in the email. Is also going to send a link to the Amazon, which is nice because if the book club manager sees it and says, okay, we like this, let's find out more about it. They can click the link in the Amazon, go to the Amazon website, purchase the book, and share the purchase with their book club. Why is this important? Because I don't have time to go out and find fantasy book clubs, but there are a ton of them. and probably thousands, right? But this chat GPT, custom GPT does, it has time to go out and scour the internet and look for fantasy book clubs. And it's going to pitch my book to them along with the description of the book, along with the link to my Amazon. So now they can purchase the book, share that with their book club. And voila, they are part of the Lyron Legacy family. So do you see how important this is? Do you see how you can actually use these tools to help you grow your business? And here's the thing, it wasn't that hard to do. It took me about, this one took about 10 minutes, this one took about 10 minutes, and here are all the ones that I've done. These are the ones that I've done so far. I want to show you ones that I've done before this people are actually using. So I have the Plan Master. All of these are mine. All of these are GPTs that I've used. So this solar block right here is to help homeowners. So 10 people plus have used this one. This is a PR one. Somebody used that one, but this is the one that I was really shocked about. Network Marketing Mentor. Over 300 people have used this GPT because these are public. Now, these two right here that I just created recently for my book, they're not public. They're only for my use. They're only for, well, this one is not public. This one is not public. The Press Release Pro is not public. Why did I do that one? Well, I did that one so I can send out press releases. Right? So a lot of media people out there, a lot of podcasters, blogs, online magazine, online newsletters. And so I was like, I need to be able to create a press release pro so I can send out press releases without me having to do it. So it's compiling a list of press releases. It's going to send out my press release to people, to media people about the book and what I'm doing or whatever else I'm doing. So I wanted to share this with you because I know if you are a author like myself or a bookpreneur like myself, and you're really trying to figure out how to leverage, all of these amazing tools to actually, get the word out about your book and help you market and promote the book, leveraging like chat GPT and custom GPTs and telling it what to do and all that great stuff. This is a great way for you to do that. And so I'm really leveraging all of this, like even to create the book. I'm not a fiction writer. I am a nonfiction writer. And as I said before, first book ever, been doing this since, and this is not even, I don't know what genre you would call this, because this was just us. This was just us like doing poems and recipes and all kinds of stuff. But the book was called The Cookbook to Romance. And my friend Georgette actually did this cover. Check out my other video. It tells you all about the story of this book. But I wanted to do something exciting. And I decided to write the Lyron Legacy based on some information that I found out. And I was like, this sounds exciting, but I don't know how to write fiction. So I leveraged smart tools to help me tell the story by going in there and giving it all of these different prompts and changing prompts around and all these different things. And then I got this book and I'm like, this is exciting. So in my mind, the way it works is that, okay, now I got the book. Now I have to market the book, but I'm building an entire brand around the book. Like I'm building a moat around this book. It is book number 1 in a series of 8. So this is the first book in the series of 8. And I already have the titles and the next step and the next, that's all laid out. And every quarter I'm going to release a new book. So go back and look at my other video I just did about creating a trivia game. I got something else that I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about that on another video to help me market the book and build this moat around the book. So, these are just some of the things that I'm doing. Hopefully you can take some of my lessons and things that I'm doing to help you with your book. And this way you can promote your book and, hopefully get more sales and leverage smart tools to help you be more productive in marketing and growing your book. So I want to thank you for stopping by. Listen, be sure to subscribe to the show. If you like this episode, you found it helpful, be sure to subscribe to the show below. Also, follow me and connect with me on Instagram at the Bookpreneur Coach. On TikTok, I am the official Bookpreneur. And on YouTube, I am the Bookpreneur. So the Bookpreneur Coach, official Bookpreneur. That's how you can connect with me. Those are the platforms. So again, Audrey Bell-Kearney, the Bookpreneur. I will be back with another great episode. And this wasn't even a planned episode. I was just so excited about coming up with the idea to do the pitch pro. Then I came up with the one for the fantasy pitch. And I'm probably going to do another one just for bloggers. But now that you know how to do it, you can do the same thing for your book. Now that you know how to go into Chat GPT and create a GPT and how to do the prompts and all those good things. And listen, go to the bookpreneur.com. That is my newsletter. It is free to subscribe to. It's free. I'm always putting in articles in there, but I also have a platinum program that you can become a part of, where every Wednesday I'll do an office hour live, and you can go into the office hour. You be invited to our private group. We talk about whatever you need to talk about, ask questions, and then once a month starting in January, I will be doing a master class. So all of the things that I know from about marketing, and that's what my company does, content creation, I'm going to share in my master classes. All my experience of being an entrepreneur for 20 something years, 28 years. I'm going to be sharing that as well. I'm an inventor, and I'll talk about that in probably my next video, because it has me being an inventor is very relevant to the next video that I'm going to do, or the video after that. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can find out what that is. Like, you probably can't see, but I invented the first plus size fashion dolls. So when you think about Barbie, she's twice the size of a Barbie. A Barbie doll. She's twice the size of a Barbie. So I'm going to take that wisdom and years of experience, I'm going to attach it to my book, and I'm going to talk about that in another episode of the book. So in another episode of the show. So be sure to subscribe to the show and connect with me on all of the platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, so you never miss an episode. All right. Thank you again for listening. I'll be back with another great episode soon. Until next time, my friends, until next time, make it a great day. Bye, everybody.